evening, you're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The Supervisory Committee of Labour Market Environment Lab reviews the executive stand of initiatives within the National Programme for Economic Diversification. Russian airstrikes in Syria kill 10 civilians in Idlib, as the Russian president doesn't rule out launching a full-scale assault on militants in the province. And 15 killed in a battle between Sri Lankan security forces and suicide bombers. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in detail. The Supervisory Committee of Labour Market and Employment Lab, in its third meeting, discussed the executive stand of initiatives within the National Programme for Economic Diversification. It also focused on procedures related to implementation on plans of the initiatives. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser Al Bakri, Minister of Manpower, stressed on the keenness of the ministry to enable and facilitate work initiatives, as well as the significance of integration between the ministries and bodies concerned that are supervising the targeted sectors so as to achieve the goals of the programme. The Omani Contact Centres Forum, organised by the Ministry of Health, represented by the Public Relations and Communications Department, the Contact Centre kicked off today at the Conference Hall of the National Bank of Oman under the auspice of His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al Saidi, Minister of Health. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rabai.
Oman Contact Centres Forum, organised by the Minister of Health, represented by the Public Relations and Communication Department, the Contact Centre, kicked off today. The forum aimed to identify the services of the contact centres in the Sultanate, how to promote those services and achieve the institutional and occupational development of the contact centres in both the public and private sectors. In addition, the forum also highlighted the role of the contact centres as institutions in sustainable development, as well as seeking to achieve a high level of client satisfactions.
This forum gathers more than 20 contact centres. By the end of the day, we hope all the participants can gain more knowledge and skill that can they apply it in their institution in order to serve the community in a more better way.
I hope this continue in every year, and with more develop with more call centers.
This was a great gathering for 21 call centers in the country. My presentations were specific on specific situation in call center. I think such seminars should continue to enhance the ability of the call center employees.
Thank God, the forum was good. We have learned the latest techniques in this forum, which are on par with the development of technology. We trust that we will be able to provide them with the best service.
More than 200 participants and experts from the contact centres of the government and private institutions in the Sultanate attended the forum. Through 3 sessions, the forum included a number of lectures that highlighted the role of government contact centres in developing and enhancing the strategic plans, the role of National Committee for Civil Defence and call centres in emergencies, self and human development, latest technical developments in the contact centres, managing clients' complaints between the institutions and the contact centres. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rabai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Sultan Qaboos University and Turkish Mara Foundation signed a letter of cooperation to enlist the Turkish language in the elective courses for the university students. This cooperation will diversify teaching languages in the university and strengthen the Omani-Turkish relations. Joint cultural activities will also be organised in campus in the upcoming period. On behalf of the university, the letter was signed by Her Highness Sayyida Dr. Muna bin Fahad Al Said, Assistant Vice Chancellor for International Liaison, and on behalf of the Foundation, it was signed by His Excellency Hassan Yavis, Vice President of the Foundation. China sought to put a gentler face on its massive plan to create the Old Silk Road at a summit today that ended, saying it must do more to explain the program and boost sustainability. President Xi Jinping has made the Belt and Road Initiative, as it's formally called, one of the cornerstones of his administration, but it has run into opposition in some countries over fears that opaque financing arrangements leads to unsustainability, debt, and that it is more about promoting the Chinese influence than bringing development. The Belt and Road Scheme seeks to build a modern vision of the Silk Road to link China with Asia, Europe and beyond through large-scale infrastructure projects. Yesterday, Xi told foreign leaders, including close allies such as Russia President Vladimir Putin and Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan, that the initiative must be green and sustainable, adding that the plan would deliver high-quality growth for all. Meeting the Greek Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras, Xi said Belt and Road was about promoting mutually beneficial win-win international cooperation, not a you-lose, I-win scheme. Russian President Vladimir Putin said today he did not rule out Syria forces backed by Russian air power launching a full-scale assault on militants in Syria's Idlib province, but that such an operation would be unreasonable for now. Russia, one of Syrian government's staunchest allies, and Turkey brokered a deal in September to create a demilitarized zone in northwest Idlib region that would be free of all heavy weapons and militant fighters. The deal helped avert a government assault on the region, the last major bastion of opponents of President Bashar al-Assad. But Moscow has since complained about escalating violence in the area and said that militants who used to belong to the Nusra Front group are in control of large swaths of territory. Airstrikes by Syrian government ally Russia killed 10 civilians in militant-held northwestern region of Idlib yesterday, as unsuccessful peace talks ended in Kazakhstan. The raids killed 3 civilians on the outskirts of the town of Kafranbel and 7 in the town of Tal Hawash. Syria's civil war has killed more than 370,000 people since it started in 2011, and endless rounds of negotiations have failed to stem the bloodshed. Damascus has won back large parts of the country from rebels and militants since Russia intervened in the war in 2015. But several key areas remain beyond government reach, including Idlib, which is controlled by a former al-Qaeda affiliate. The latest air raids come as 2 days of talks on ending the war in Syria, sponsored by Russia, Iran and Turkey, concluded in Kazakhstan. The United Nations has expressed worry over the new wave of bombardments on the Idlib region, around which a buffer zone was never fully implemented. 15 people, including 6 children, died in a battle between Sri Lankan security forces and suicide bombers, who blew themselves up in the latest fallout from the Easter attacks. The police said today that 3 men set up the explosives that killed themselves, 3 women and 6 children, inside what was believed to be a militant hideout near the eastern town of Kalmanai last night. Security forces tried to storm the house, and a 1-long-hour gun battle ensued before the explosions. A civilian was also killed in the crossfire during the nighttime raid. Police and troops have stepped up raids after the Daesh group claimed responsibility for the suicide attack on 3 churches and 3 luxury hotels, killing at least 250 people and injuring 500. The operation followed a tip-off that people linked to the attacks were in the town, 370 kilometers east of the capital. At least 94 people are in custody, including a man believed to be the father of the 2 bombers, and authorities warned that the hunt would continue. Still to come in our news bulletin. Omani Women Association in the Wilaya of Al Mazuna organizes a conclusion ceremony of training program in computer and English language skills. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The number of passengers through Muscat International, Salalah, Sohar and Duqm airports increased by the end of March 2019 by 7.02% to reach more than 4.4 million. The National Center for Statistics and Information pointed out that the number of flights through the Sultanate's airports during the first quarter of the current year reached 32,000, as the international flights through Salalah Airport rose by 21%. Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Governorate of Musandam branch, agreed with Mararif Company to amend fees at Kasab Port. The move will contribute to supporting the commercial movement and stimulate the local economy in the Governorate of Musandam. The Chamber discussed in its meetings with the company the services being provided by the port and the additional facilities needed by traders dealing with the port. The two sides also reviewed the ambitious development plan for the port on which the company is working and expected future opportunities. They also discussed building the capabilities of the companies in the governorate of Musandam in the logistics sector and the value added in the ports and the projects that it will attract. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs organised an honouring ceremony for some bodies and individuals in the governorate of Musandam. The event came in recognition of efforts exerted by some public and private bodies and voluntary teams in the success of all events and programs of the Ministry, the Governorate, during this year. These programs aim to raise awareness among all segments of the society on the importance of protecting all elements of the local environment. The Director General of Education in the Governorate of Bahrain organised a ceremony for supportive schools for technology project. It came to achieve integrated growth for learner and enhance the values of citizenship. It also aims to keep pace with latest developments in the field of modern education technology. The project will provide modern educational apparatus to find an educational environment that supports students and develop their skills and capabilities in research and innovation. In the Wadi of Al Mazuna, Omani Women Association organised a ceremony on the occasion of the conclusion of a training program in computer and English language skills. Some 77 female trainees took part in the 2-month-long training program. The conclusion ceremony included the performance of some traditional arts and handing over the certificates to participants in the program. The 14th Kidney Conference was held under the patronage of His Excellency Dr. Mohammed bin Saif Al Hosni, Minister of Health Under Secretary for Health Affairs. More details in the following report by Abdul bin Ahmed Al Rabai.
This 14th symposium coincides with the World Kidney Day, which came this year under the theme Kidney Health for Everyone, Everywhere. The symposium included 3 main aspects, where the first aspect reviewed the latest developments on the treatments of kidney diseases and pediatric kidney diseases. The second highlighted the most important problems that may occur during dialysis and how to treat and prevent them. The third aspect addressed the updates in treatment of kidney transplant problems.
This is 14th Think Kidney Symposium held today to educate the concerned people who are looking after kidney patients about the new management and treatment of the nephrology things. So many specialists came from all over the country to attend this symposium. I hope it will be useful for them to follow up and manage their own patients.
250 participants of various specializations from across the Sultanate attended the conference. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Clear skies will prevail over most of the governorates, with chances of low cloud late at night and early morning over the governorate of South Sharqiya. Winds will be south to southeasterly light to moderate, and seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. Command Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The Supervisory Committee of Labour Market and Employment Lab reviews the executive stand of initiatives within the National Programme for Economic Diversification. Russian airstrikes in Syria kill 10 civilians in Idlib as the Russian president doesn't rule out launching a full-scale assault on militants in the province. And 15 killed in a battle between Sri Lanka's security forces and suicide bombers. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsrooms and the studio, good night.